gold. And we're going to find out if he's able to take out Kyna, because I'd argue if he's able to beat Kyna, he should be able to win the whole thing.
Well, no, until he runs into Kyna in Grand Finals and everything's different because he's Neo. Remember, we went through the whole resurrection type thing. We were talking about how blue Kyna was. He's playing a different color scheme here, so it's going to look a little bit different, but let's hope the gameplay is the same as before if you're a Kyna fan like myself. But if you're a Marckiemoo fan, okay, he's going to grab those gauntlets, hits the inline. Already has Kyna in orange, so a great start this game. His neutral air gets interrupted by Kyna's neutral air. Kyna was just a little bit too low for the gauntlet nair to pick him up.
Yeah, something I have noticed in the past is that I feel like Marckiemoo is much better at steamrolling through people. You know, the shorter the set goes, the better. He has a very strong ability to adapt, but I feel like historically he's had a little bit of issue as far as like stamina goes. You know, you can see him kind of get tired. You can see some of his punches that he would normally get when he's on start to fail. And so if he's going to win this, I think 3-0 is the way that he has the best chance of making a deep run in this bracket.
Okay, it seems like Kyna's not struggling to find those recoveries. He might struggle to find the one that actually gets the KO. That was something he was having difficulty with in his set earlier against Akno that both you and I called. There's the neutral air sending Marckiemoo down. Kyna's just kind of sitting around there. He doesn't want to instantly commit with a ground pound or anything like that. He wants to wait to see what Marckiemoo's going to do out of hit stun, and he hits the down air, which is not normally the move you see KOing off the bottom, but that's the one he wanted with all the active frames in case Marckiemoo had a dodge come out or anything like that, so we could get through that.
Yeah, also a scary situation because the Scythe, we already saw Marckiemoo burn the recovery there, and while the Scythe has good reversals, it does not have great reversals for anyone that's directly on top of you. And so kind of knowing that that's the move to put out there, Marckiemoo will be able to reversal that from that positioning and securing that first stock. But despite that, I mean, the game is still even here. Marckiemoo putting out that long-lasting neutral light, those active frames, catching Kyna in the midst of his movement. But we'll see who comes out on top. This game one's going to mean a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, great neutral air interrupting the recovery. There's the end light and the weapon toss to keep Kyna at bay in case he wanted to wake up with the GC D-light or anything like that. There's the D-light into the neutral air. Not enough to KO off the top just yet. Even that neutral light doesn't send off screen, but you see him chasing above, hoping to grab the neutral air to jump heights up. The dodge came through from Marckiemoo. GC D-light into the recovery.
Trying to find that final blow here. Kyna looking to do the same. Could have gone for a recovery right there off of the dodge.
I thought we were going to see the delay.
Yeah, same. You know, maybe just not ready to pull the trigger there. Oh, what a pickup from Marckiemoo. That was crazy.
Yeah, weapon toss, GC D-light giving you all of that hit stun that it has, and then the recovery. So far, it's been kind of just like a little bit behind, just a little bit behind. Marckiemoo was able to grab the first stock. There's the neutral air, and now we are, I believe, even, I think it might have been a weapon toss, I'm not sure.
Yeah, as even as it, you know, for all intents and purposes, it's even. I mean, barely scathed here. We watch Marckiemoo get a couple hits. Wow, what a follow-up from Kyna, converting that side air into a neutral air for Marckiemoo. I think maybe reading a jump out of disadvantage. And Marky is really not getting too many hits here. Gets one neutral air, and that's pretty much it so far this stock. Using the weapon first to break the mold. I think he feels much more comfortable on those gauntlets.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, especially against someone like Kyna. I think it's just harder to zone break, but Kyna, look at the way he's playing this, right? I mean, one of the best neutral games in Brawlhalla on one of the best neutral weapons in Brawlhalla.
Yeah, super clean bow. I just, like, you can't find a spot anywhere. It's so beautiful. He really seems dialed in on that spacing that he didn't have in the initial set against Akno that we saw earlier.
It seemed like Kyna was able to figure out the Marckiemoo aggression really quickly, adapted really fast, and then just spaced him out for the rest of it. I think the bow from Kyna also proving to be quite a problem to deal with. Marckiemoo's Scythe so far has yet to do anything I'd argue is meaningful. Starting off this game with the Scythe and still not able to touch Kyna. There we go, gets one hit, and that's about it. Marckiemoo has mainly been getting single hit engagements with this Scythe. There we go, that's a nice string. That's what I want to see. We need to chain it together to really rack up that damage, but Kyna swapping over to that bow, saying, you know what, I'm going to space you out with my long-range hitboxes. We'll see if Marky has an answer.
Yeah, kind of just barely holding onto this little bit of a lead here. There's the side light. No major attempt to commit off stage, just waiting for Kyna to get back, hopefully punishing that landing. Again, another side light, this time's a weapon toss. Swapping back over, there's a GC D-light into the recovery. Very clean gauntlet gameplay so far in both of these games from Marckiemoo. He's able to take that first stock, again, just like he did last game.
I love the patience from Marckiemoo here. A player known to have pretty good reaction time as well. Almost gets a nice early stock there off of Kyna if he was able to get that read, maybe convert that to an offstage early knockout, but Kyna gonna return that one back. Marky shouldn't be able to get back from here. Oh no!
Kyna.
A double, he got the touch.
He was able to touch. and now he's going to completely disengage and go back. Man, he had that to almost a free edge guard, almost. It was not a guaranteed edge guard. He's able to answer back right after that, but he did take some ground pound damage to the face. He took some other damage to the face as well in that time frame, so hopefully he can come back from that. Again, just like last game, he was a little bit behind. Not a lot behind, but just a little bit behind Marckiemoo all the way until the end.
Marky, you know, still having a tough time kind of getting a read on Kyna's defensive habits. You know, he had game 1 to get some data. This game 2, he has a little bit more. I think he's getting closer, but he still hasn't found it quite yet. You'll see that a lot of these strings are just 1-2 hits. Marky can't get more than that. He's going for these reads. They're not connecting. Needs to stock now. Ooh, that's a whiff from Marky. Another whiff from Marky, kind of playing the whiff punish game right now because it seems difficult for Marckiemoo to get the hits. Finally finds one there and actually converts it into the knockout. He might be able to make this a 1-1 game or a set.
Yeah, he doesn't take too much damage in the process. He's only about halfway through the second stock. He's going to have control of the weapon until Kyna picks up. There's a D-Light into the neutral air. Almost got the second neutral air. Marky was just a little bit too high above him. There's a side air potentially setting up an edge guard. He's going to dash forward, dash back. I don't know exactly what he was queuing up there based on the beginnings of that animation. Was that a neutral sig?
I think it was a side sig. I think he was starting to get to the wings. I'm not sure either way. You know, lucky to go ahead and stuff that one out. Didn't want to figure out what it was.
So quickly. D-Light into the neutral air, KO off the top, about 30 damage behind. Kyna's going to shuffle his weapons now back over onto the bow. He guarantees his next weapon's going to be the bow. Here comes the spawn in. It's to the right. He goes for the jump side air for the read to send Marky away. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, he threw it away and wasn't able to re-grab. Weapon spawn comes back in. Here's the gauntlets from Marckiemoo. The neutral air sends him up. He's going to be very careful. Blows that spot dodge a little bit late. I thought we were going to see a punish there from Kyna, but he couldn't get it in time.
All right, tries to go for that neutral light as well. Marckiemoo looking really good in this game. Number 2 has Kyna in the KO zone right now. One good string is all it takes, and Marckiemoo secures game number 2. I mean, dude, they're right there.
Yeah, they just like came out all of a sudden, I swear.
Here we go, going for game number 3 here on Small Brawlhaven. There's nowhere to run to, no platforms to reset your jumps. Instead, you got to keep it all nice up close and personal. Nowhere to hide.
A couple of these inlights coming out from Marckiemoo, but Kyna's been able to stay above them. Marckiemoo opted for the just standard inlight punish right after. He couldn't find it because Kyna was too high. Then he went aerial, turning around the neutral air. Wasn't able to find that because Kyna was also too high for that. There's the side light. Easy punish. 2 gauntlet players. Naring, side lighting.
Yeah, no, Gauntlet players definitely put a whole different meaning to just wait till I get my hands on you. That's all they fishing for, man.
Tough start so far for Kyna, that neutral light. Oh, he hits the D-Light, but he misses the recovery right after that. Gravity canceling that D-Light, coming in with the side light, missing that, taking a side air. He needs to find the KO move. He really hasn't struggled to find that whatsoever. One more in-light from the edge of the stage should do it here. Neutral air just barely missing. D-Light into the in-light, true combo option.
Nice.
There's the D-Light recovery. He's not missing the recovery this time.
Perfect read on Kyna trying to punish that as well. You saw Marckiemoo whipped and then immediately backed up his space for that gravity cancel D-Light. He already knew ahead of time what Kyna was going to go for, and that's a good omen from Marckiemoo. Uh-oh. Hold on, huge opportunity to get an early stock. Is unable to convert. No punish here as well. Kyna thinks he's going to land stack, but Marckiemoo drifts away. Doesn't get caught by that down signature.
Weapon toss, some unarmed damage. There's the re-grab, another weapon toss into the re-grab. Marckiemoo doing a great job of holding onto his weapon and completely shutting down all of these KO options from Kyna while he adds up more and more damage on the second stock. Not able to re-grab here. Third time was not the charm.
And he's basically been playing exclusively gauntlets. You see every moment he grabs that scythe, he throws it away. He's a gauntlet player through and through for this tournament. But, you know, Kyna playing a bit of both. Going ahead, really leaning into this bow, though, getting that first KO and trying to bring the damage back, but Marky has effectively lapped him at this point. I mean, especially on this small stage, you get like a gauntlet end-light in the corner. I think that should be enough.
Yeah, Marckiemoo's gauntlets have been more successful of the 2 weapons so far, though the scythe has been really solid, and Kyna's bow has been more successful. Though regardless, it hasn't been enough success to deal with Marckiemoo until, hold on, all of a sudden, oh, not close enough. If you had been a little bit closer towards the edge, that would have done it. Just barely getting through, barely getting away.
There it is.
That's going to do it for sure, yeah.
Pumping him up. Marckiemoo sending Kyna down to the last stock, but Kyna, all things considered, had effectively been lapped, was able to tack on a lot of damage on his penultimate stock. I think he can bring this back to even really quick. Goes for a read there. Had he gotten it, it would have been a tie game. Good defense from Marckiemoo for not getting caught by that, and huge damage off of that string.
Oh, and he gets the gravity cancel inlight off of that too. Kyna's not able to find any KO options here. And even on Small Worlds in, he hit the D-Light but doesn't want to go for the in-light, even though maybe he should have. I don't know if it would KO. Marckiemoo, again, almost lapping in damage.
Yeah, look at that. I don't even know if he's going to pick up those gauntlets. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're a D-Light recovery away. Throws away the gauntlets as well, but gets a D-Light recovery.
And you called it. You called it out perfectly. Brawl!
We'll see. I mean, we're going into game number 4, Demon Island this time around. And have those short corners, it means those offstage plays are going to feel a lot tougher to get around.
Oh my gosh, already a huge opening from Marckiemoo Scythe. He's been able to be consistent on both weapons. Maybe not always at the exact same time, but throughout this set, he's been very consistent on doing good damage, either a Scythe game or a Gauntlet game or a mix of both. Meanwhile, Kyna's really just relied on this bow, and it's not been enough.
Yeah, so far, especially when he's going for these signatures and the reads aren't hitting, has been the difference between winning and losing for Kyna in some of these situations. So definitely gonna have to lock in a little bit more Marckiemoo's defensive options. Marky almost gets that string there, but just not quite able to get that sidelight to connect. Had he gone for a gravity cancel D-Light, maybe he would have been able to convert into the recovery, get the KO off the top, but I don't remember if he had a dodge in that situation. So Kyna answering back here. Marky gonna be fishing for the KO here, and neutral light in the corner. Ooh, oh, drops the combo though. It's that max range D-Light. It's really tricky to get.
Okay, he's able to get the stock there.
Like that, man.
I don't know. Like he's able to pick them up really consistently as like one of his main win conditions to get a stock away. Now kind of back over onto the gauntlets. That was enough. I was wondering just because it was a little bit lower on that right side if that was going to be enough to KO off the top. And we are now back to an even game. Although still, I feel like Marckiemoo is in control. It feels like he is in the driver's seat and Kyna's playing catch up. Sometimes he's playing catch up by a lot. Sometimes it's by a little. But regardless, he's still playing catch up.
Yeah, now we have Kyna with a moderate lead here because it looks like Marky hasn't been able to touch him, but there we go. Marky's getting the dodge reads now. I mean, that's the biggest difference between game 1 and the first half of game 2 is that Marckiemoo would get these hits and then he'd try to extend it to like 3 or 4 and nothing was hitting. Now, he is getting those nairs whenever he wants them. He's getting those end lights on Scythe. Boom, 3, 4 hits after that, and it's really making a difference here. Kyna just trying to fight back. He's been getting these side lights and then maybe a nair afterward, and that's kind of been it.
That dunk would have been huge if Marckiemoo grabbed that over on the corner. It would have been in the perfect spot, exactly where you want to pick that up. But since he didn't pick that up, we've been so even back and forth. Again, the side light into the backdash that we saw from Kyna earlier, grabbing that side light into the recovery all the way up there again, grabbing a pretty early KO onto Kyna in that moment. That was huge. Weapon spawn coming back in is going to be able to grab it. Yes, here's the gauntlets.
I feel like Marky is catching Kyna on the, like, you know, it looks like desperation when you're watching it, right?
Yeah.
He goes for sidelight recovery. He doesn't get the read with the recovery. Why is he gravity cancel sidelight recovering again? You know, you expect him to back off a little bit because he missed, but he continues to press on and is getting him in these stocks where Kyna otherwise would not expect to be losing it.
Finally hits that, but like, look at how much damage he built up when he hit it, and look at how it's going to hit every single time. It's always going to bounce off the stage and bounce up at that 45-degree angle. 45-degree angle is the longest vector to possibly get to the blast zone, and you're dealing with the bounce off of the stage. So you're nerfed in 2 different ways. So even though that move is slick, I like that move. As a KO move, if you're KOing with that, that means you had to do 10 trillion damage.
Yeah, you gotta do 10 trillion damage, or you gotta do it close enough to the lip of the stage where it don't come into contact with anything.
Yeah.
But Marckiemoo, I mean, right there, look at these extensions off of these gauntlets right on over, throws the Scythe away. But I think Marky is also so confident in his ability to fight unarmed that even if he's throwing these weapons away, he's like, I can still scrap.
That has been the thing that's really surprised me is how well his unarmed has been doing against Kyna. Does he clutch it out here and push it to a game 5, or is Marckiemoo going to take it 3-1 in what feels like no time at all?
Yeah, Marky doesn't have enough damage yet on Kyna to go ahead and secure the stock. He needs a turnaround here, but first you have to get back to stage. Oh, tries it, doesn't have enough resources. Tries to do a delayed side air to see if maybe he can catch Kyna doing the ground pound too much.
Look at Kyna. Oh my gosh, what a sigh of relief from him.
That's the reason he's one of the favorites to take the entire thing.
I love how this set is not one of the most explosive ones, especially after we just saw Darwin versus West, but it feels like the tension throughout the entire thing is at a fever pitch. It feels like at the max level right now. I don't know why they charge for the edge or for the entire seat, because I feel like I'm just sitting on the edge of the seat right now.
No, I feel the same.
It feels real.
It's like you can cut it with a knife. You know what I mean? Like, it is that tangible, and you can tell how much respect both of these players have for each other, that even when they're winning these games, like, somewhat convincingly, you can tell they feel like they could lose the entire time.
Every single hit feels like game defining.
Oh, wow, good movement from Kyna, that dash land to sneak out and then try to threaten the area he was just standing. It's like he's swinging at a phantom at himself. trying
Both
to
of them
get.
seem incredibly elusive right now. Marckiemoo getting back over to the wall, kind of not even engaging over there, getting back to the middle of the stage. There is a weapon spawn on the field, so either player could swap out. I don't know if they will. Just barely getting above the GCD light. That probably would have led into the recovery. I bet Marckiemoo would not have dropped it that time. The recovery comes out, punished by the neutral air. He's looking for the second neutral air to juggle. It's just a side air this time, and it's going to be almost a carbon copy of the final stock last game as we see Marckiemoo sweating over low and on the right side.
Yeah, taking a step back, taking a deep breath, reeling back in his chair a little bit because I think Marckiemoo recognized, oh, beautiful pickup from Marky, though. Gets the good hit of the side air as well to make sure he secures the knockout because it was looking a little bit scary. If Kyna had pulled ahead just a little bit further, I would have really been like, I don't know if he can bring it back. It has to be close the entire time. That's what it feels like for these two. If either player gets ahead, that might be curtains for it. I think they're both too good at playing with a massive lead.
There's the side light, kind of goes back to the ground. He's really sticking to that ground like glue.
Nice.
Doesn't want to get caught in those vertical 45s. He's worried about the nairs. He's worried about the neutral lights.
Oh, okay.
Just barely above that ground pound. That could have set up into a great edge guard for Marckiemoo.
And I love that. Fades away and then dash lands forward, completely catching Kyna off guard with that aggression.
Again, kind of getting one hit, jumping, and going back immediately to the ground. He's not chasing into the sky. Oh, he's not able to re-grab the weapon off of that. He's sweating. That's going to send him all the way to the right side. Marckiemoo stripping the field. There's the side light. He's going to go in with the most telegraphed ground pound. That was wild. The GC side light as well. Kind of risking so much here.
Wow, I did not think that was going to knock out. And now Marckiemoo, I mean, specking into that scythe. The last 3 weapons he's had in his hand have been a scythe. He got those gauntlets, immediately threw them away. Has the scythe in hand again. Going to be hard to get in with those gauntlets as well. Against the scythe, that neutral light is going to be a really tough tool here to get past.
I feel like there's been more than a couple times where Kyna is expecting Marckiemoo to like rush back in, and Marckiemoo has shown every single time that at this point in the set, he's not going to be doing that. Like with that ground pound earlier, with the D-light that we saw earlier, like Marckiemoo is not afraid to stay away whatsoever, sort of calm things back down in that calm demeanor. Even though he's a steamroller, when he needs to slow it down, he can, and Kyna just needs to be ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, look at the damage. This is the most it's been the entire set. It never gets much further than this. Marckiemoo trying to push a little bit further, but Kyna tacking on this extra damage. Marky, you know, trying to get Kyna into that side light read territory, right? Like 1 or 2 more hits. Like about here, you get a side light recovery, and you can just win the game. Goes for the double recovery, tries to be cheeky with it. He does not want this game to go on long, and it won't, as Marckiemoo is able to defeat Kyna 3-2 in a